What's up, everybody? It's Rick. I'm wearing my headphones because there's a weird noise outside. I'm in the garage of this parking lot area here, as I got a meeting that I'm going to be going to in a couple hours. I figure I'd do some videos since I got the time. Uh, I was going to do a Facebook Live, but it wouldn't work down here because there's all kinds of concrete blocking the signal. So I'm recording this. I'll be posting it on my YouTube channel. But I wanted to share with you guys the thing that I'm kind of organizing that I've been doing the last couple of months is trying to separate my days by different categories or different themes for the day, and kind of following what that day dictates. So if I have it on the calendar and it says this is what's going on today, I try to follow that little category or theme. This is something that I picked up from a couple of books that I've read, and like one guy that I follow, he talks about the perfect life being a good balance of health, wealth, love, and happiness. And another guy that I've followed and read used to talk about the five pillars: spiritual, financial, intellectual, physical, and relational. So I've taken those sort of things, and I'm like, all right, let me like break up my days like this, so I have a little bit more focus in the things that I want to learn and apply. So I got some of my books that I actually carry with me. So my Sundays are my spiritual day. And by spiritual, I don't mean like I'm going to church and, sitting on a yoga mat and meditating all day long. But I do follow one little book. I've been reading it, and I kind of start and I stop and I start and I stop. So now that I'm putting it on video, I'm going to make sure that I follow up more often here. But this book, it's probably backwards. The Master Key System is one that I've done on Sundays, and like I said, I kind of start and I stop. The cool thing about this book is the way it was designed is you're not supposed to read it all the way through. You're supposed to do the sections, and because it was originally written as a kind of like a study guide into 24 parts, and the 24 parts were supposed to be done 1 week at a time. So you would have 24 weeks with this technically, and I've only gotten like through the first three. So even though I've had this book for a while, I have not gotten to like not even the 10th part because I'm lazy sometimes and I start and I stop. But so this is my Sunday Master Key System. It's really cool. The first part, which is the easy part, easy for some, not so easy for others, is just to meditate. Is just to sit, not really meditate. I shouldn't even use that word, but it's basically to sit in silence. And the whole point of the first part is to get more control of your mind and allowing you to sit for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes and just let the thoughts kind of come and go, come and go, come and go. So I've been able to do the first part, and like I said, I get lazy after that, and so I'm gonna be working on this some more. Master Key System. All right, the next one on my Mondays, I've been working on my finances and reading stuff online, reading books, applying what I'm learning. My good friend Mr. Gerardo gave me this book. He says he didn't give it to me, but he said I'm telling you, he gave it to me. It's called Money Drunk, Money Sober: 90 Days to Financial Freedom. And I thought, well, okay, let me check it out. And it was really, really interesting. So the whole point of this book, I haven't read it all the way through, because again, this is another one that you're supposed to do in parts. You're not supposed to like read it all the way through. The really cool thing with this one is they take the concept of like Alcoholics Anonymous and break down people's financial issues or challenges into the way like an alcoholic would deal with their alcoholic issues. And it's a really interesting twist on looking at your finances. So the first part is basically a breakdown of the different money drunks that they call them in this book. And so as they're talking about it, let me see if I can get to the little chapter breakdown. As they talk about it, I was reading some of this. I'm like, ooh, shit, I'm like that. I'm like that. I'm like that. So there's 5 different money drunks that they highlight in the book. The compulsive spender, the big deal chaser, the maintenance money drunk, the poverty addict, and the cash codependent. So it's really cool when you're reading some of this, you're like, holy cow, that I do some of that. I do a little bit of that. But I think just like with like Alcoholics Anonymous kind of stuff, it really highlights, you're like, oh, I'm that kind of a person that doesn't respect alcohol and abuses it and da 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 da. I don't have that problem, thank God. But there's money issues here that are very, very cool. So in the back, it gives you a little rundown of the different money drunks. So it says here, the compulsive spender, it's just asking a question basically. Do you buy things and hide them? I don't do that. The big deal chaser, do you refuse to watch your money because one big deal is going to make everything all right? I do a little bit of that. The maintenance money drunk, is the pay the only thing you like about your job? Sometimes. The poverty addict, do you feel morally superior to people with money? Do you feel morally superior to people with money? No. I envy people with money. The cash codependent, are you afraid to say no to your partner about money? No. So those are the different money drunks, and like I said, it's really cool the way they laid it out. I started doing this a while back, and I was on week 1. And week 1, you're supposed to count your spending, your expenditures. So if you go out and you buy a coffee, you keep the receipt, and the next day or later on, if you buy lunch, you keep that receipt. So everything that you're spending, you're just counting. Like, you're not judging what you're spending your money on, but you're keeping track of everything. And it's only supposed to be for a week. I ended up doing it for a whole month. And inside of that month, while I was keeping all these receipts, I got this app, cash flow app. So I was putting all my receipts in there, and it's really cool because it's like a little business app. So I've been keeping track of all my money, like everything that I spend my money on, my income, obviously. And the cool thing with this app is I can split the spending, so it's like my regular spending and the stuff that I'm spending on business stuff, so I can write off my taxes later. So awesome little book. Again, another one that I'm going to keep following up on so that I stay on top of it, just like my master key system. So that's Sunday and Monday. Tuesday is tech day, and that's because I'm kind of nerdy, so I like to read up on what's out there, and whether it's not, and I'm not talking about like the latest TVs and shit like that. I did that a long time ago I remember a friend of mine was doing day trading one time, and I was like big into video games, and I'm like, dude, you gotta like, I told him to start looking in the Nvidia stock, because Nvidia was at the time they still are a graphic card company. They make the chips for the graphics in computers and consoles and stuff like that. And so they were like up and coming. The only reason why I knew they were up and coming is because I was watching the video game industry. And so I told my buddy, I'm like, you gotta, watch NVIDIA, maybe put stock in NVIDIA. And he was looking at way different side of the picture of the stocks that he was following. But he told me like 6 or 8 months later, he goes, remember you told me about that company, that graphics company? And I was like, yeah. He goes, that stock price jumped up a lot. He goes, I should have listened to you when you were telling me to jump on that stock price. So it was down here somewhere in like the late, when was this happening? Like 99, like 2000. And then like by 2000, end of 2000, 2001 or whatever, the stock price had jumped a lot. And so I used to be one of these people that's like, what's going on with the latest TV and the latest iPhone and all this kind of stuff. And over the last couple of years, I've realized I've played really well into that consumer mindset. And what I mean by that is, like, every time an industry, media, is pushing a product or a service or a thing, and all of us jump on it, like when you hear about the new iPhone and you see people standing in line for the new iPhone, some of those people are entrepreneurial about it, but a majority of those people that are standing in line for this phone are not. They're consumer mindset, so they want to get on it because they want the latest and greatest thing. And I used to follow up on all these little products and things, and I've started changing my mindset, because I'm like, well, why go and spend money and make somebody else rich? Like, why don't just I follow the details of what they're doing and try to learn from that and apply it in the little things that I'm trying to do to make money. So it's been a shift these last couple of I would say year or two, or maybe 8 months, where I'm like, whoo, gotta stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an entrepreneur, and seeing these trends and what's going on in the world and the marketplace, and like, how can I, even though it may be way bigger than me, like, how do I apply, because principles and concepts are universal, so how do I apply that principle into what I'm doing over here? And so that's my Tuesday, my technology, I call it my tech day, tech Tuesday, because I want to learn about the way an industry works. And that's why some of you that are watching this video have seen me go through like Techademics and what they were doing with like affiliate marketing and stuff, which I've been a part of for going back to like before my daughter was born. So we're going back like 10 years now. The Shopify thing with e-commerce, I was doing eBay a little bit with Gerardo, my buddy Gerardo. So just learning all these little things and how do I apply them, make some money, and find what resonates with me. I like the Shopify thing. I didn't want to put all of my effort into it because it's not really my thing. So, but I'll keep the thing that I'm allowing myself to do is like keep experimenting, keep trying things, and finding what works for me. So that's my Tuesdays. My Wednesday is my quote unquote physical day, so workout day. Not that it's just like one day out of the week, but and some of you that have been in my groups and stuff like that know that I have to do it this way because I took the cover off. Excuses be gone. So I'm jumping back into this book because I like to work out, but I'm lazy when I work out. When it comes to working out, I used to be really, really good about it. And when you let yourself go, sometimes it's just like, I'll skip a day. And so this book is helping me tackle that again, to say, don't skip the day, just do it. And that's the whole point of the book is how, if you allow it, your excuses can uh, run your life. And so, a year, 5 years, 10 years later, you're like, man, I could have done these things and I haven't. And then if you are open enough with yourself to allow awareness to kind of come in and be like, what were the things that stopped me? It's usually not like what everything that we put a blame on, like money or time or anything like that. It was just your own bullshit. So this is a great book for that. Thursday is my intellectual day, my mind day. So on Thursdays, I'll read. Right now, I'm doing a lot of reading on sales and marketing. And because part of my job at my job is sales. And the cool thing with the people that I'm following is they started from nowhere and made it really big. And so not only do they teach the sales side, but they teach like how to develop your team. And as a manager, I've got a team of people that um, I'm working with to get better and develop and get them to be better at sales and better at marketing, even though that's not their main primary job. One of the things that I'm learning, I'm sorry if you can hear that loud ring, it's this car behind me. Even though it's not their main job, one of the things that I've been learning over the years is that if you want to get into a space where you're making money, like you're not relying on a paycheck from a company. So I've done stuff like worked in a factory, worked in a warehouse, worked in restaurants. Um, Usually in those kind of situations, you're collecting you're doing your job, whatever they tell you to do, and then you're collecting your paycheck. I'm in a position and I'm in an industry, so the people that I'm managing are in that same industry where, yeah, we do our job and we collect a paycheck, but in order for us to make more money, we have to learn how to sell and market our services. And so that's what I'm learning on Thursday. I don't really have I have books for it, but I don't have my book here with me for that. I'm also learning stuff online um, for the sales and marketing. So if you want to know about that, you can just send me a message and I'll let you know what that is, because that's there's isn't a whole lot of people that are into the whole sales and marketing thing. Um, Friday is my uh, relational day, and what that means is like relationships. So because it's the weekend, I get my daughter every other weekend, sometimes 2 weekends in a row. I try to focus on being a good dad and doing fun things with my daughter, and it's not doesn't have to be extravagant. You would have to know the mentality of your own kid, I guess, to figure out what that would be for you. But like, my daughter loves to do activities, and sometimes she likes to just hang out. I personally love to just hang out with her. If you have never read this book, I would say pick up the book, The Five Love Languages. And they did like a second book for children, like The Five Love Languages of Children. But going through that book, I kind of like, it makes you aware of what you like about love and affection and stuff like that. So I know for me, love is like spending time with my daughter. I don't have to do like anything crazy. I just, like, if we're just watching TV and I got her next to me, that's like awesome for me. Like, that's the ultimate. So, so that's my Friday. I try to figure out things that I want to do with her. And one of the things that I did over the weekend is I was writing her a journal when she was younger. I think I started writing the journal when I was out in Florida because I was missing her a lot. And so I started writing to connect with her and tell her these stories of what was going on with her dad at that moment in time, because me and her mom had gone through a divorce. So I wanted her to know who I was in my own little way. And so one of the other things that I picked up and I got her this book was this. It says 400 writing prompts. So it's basically blank, but it tells you little things, like it'll say, what was your all-time brightest idea? And then you write whatever that was for you. So one of the things I'm doing with my daughter is I told her, I said, we're going to do this one per day. So there's like 5 or 6 per page that you write out. Anyways, but it's 400 total. So I said, we're going to do one per day. And then, because I don't get to talk to her a whole lot during the week. I used to, when I wasn't working as a manager. I had more time on my hands, but not a lot of money. And so when I got back into this managing position, I'm making more money, but don't have as much time with her as I would like. And so, so I told her, I said, we're going to do one a day, and I'll call you, or I'll text you, or I'll send you a video, and then, you reply, so we know what our little things are in here. So like as an example, let me find a good one. What makes you... Okay, so like here, this one says or asks, what makes you feel like a kid again? So my thing is, like, I would write out what makes me feel like a kid, and she could write her response, and then we share that response with each other once per day. And then that's just a way for me to extend my Friday relational day with her throughout the week. I don't have anything for Saturday. Saturdays I leave kind of wide open because, Saturdays is Saturdays. It's the weekend and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I am doing, and this is like my last book, is I read The Miracle Morning. This was recommended by other people that I know. And the point of the Miracle Morning is to get your day started off with focus and intent. Most of us kind of wake up, hit the alarm clock a few times before we actually get up, get our asses up and go to work and just kind of follow that monotony. And the point of the book is to get up with intention and purpose and focus and start it off right. And so one of the things that he talks about in here is like making time to wake up a little bit earlier, which some people struggle with, but it can be done. I've always said for the longest time that I'm not a morning person, but I know if I have to get up in the morning, I'll do it. So the biggest thing with this is, like, when you read it, he's got these little steps that help you get focused, and they're basically 6 practices. He calls them savers. It's an acronym. Is that right? Acronym. So he's using the letters. Anagram? No. He's using the letters of the 6 things that he's having you do for so it makes it easy to remember. So the first S in savers is silence. Each of these you can spend, he recommends 10 minutes on each, and if you do all 6, then that's 1 hour that you give to yourself to get focused and start your day with intention and purpose and stuff like that. So the first 10 minutes is just silence. It's kind of like meditation, what I'm doing with the Master Key system. The the A in savers is for affirmations. And there's a lot of people that don't believe in affirmations. Some people feel stupid about like doing affirmations, but affirmations, if you expand your awareness and understand that you're getting affirmations from the outside all the frickin' time. So watch the news. They're telling you how terrible the world is, how much we suck. Like at the time of this video, it's July 2018. You would think if you watch the news that Chicago's a war zone, because the other day they just said how we're the rat infestation city of the entire country. Like we're the worst place to live as far as rats are concerned. We're like worse than New York. There's killings every weekend. The economy is bad. Taxes suck here, which they do. But if you were to take all of that in, you'd be like, God damn, man, Chicago's like the worst city ever. And if you just look at it in that way, it is. But there's a lot of great things about the city, and there's a lot of great people here, and we're not all dying on the streets. It's just certain areas of certain neighborhoods that are having this issue and this problem. So if you watch the media is affirming to you every day how bad the world is, how bad the economy is, how bad our president is, all that kind of stuff. And so and sometimes you're being told, if you watch these dumbass commercials from the pharmaceutical companies, what's wrong with you, how fat you are, how bad your diabetes are going to get, and all this, and you're like, man, I got to go take a pill, I guess, because I'm going to be all out of fucking whack. So you're getting affirmed all the time what's wrong in your world. So the cool thing about this and affirmations is you get to choose, you get to create it, you get to pick the affirmations that are going to be beneficial to you and serve you, and you just spend 10 minutes on your affirmations. 10 minutes, that's it, a day. So S is for silence, A is for affirmations. The V in Savers is for visualization, and that's just like taking pictures. You can find them online or whatever, or maybe your own, of things that you want in your life. Nice house, nice car. And part of the thing with visualization, you don't need the pictures, but part of the thing with visualization is putting yourself in the picture. So if I want to be driving around in a nice car, I'm not just looking at the car like from a distance. Like I'm putting myself in the car. I'm visualizing like what it feels like to drive that nice car, to sit in that nice car, to smell the nice car smell or whatever. So spending 10 minutes on that. And the cool thing that he mentions in the book is when you're doing visualization, it's like with all of these, it's kind of difficult in the beginning, but the more you do it, the stronger you get at it. Just kind of like working out and lifting weights and stuff, you'll start to lift more because you get stronger. So the visualization process gets stronger for you. So at the beginning, you're like, oh man, it's kind of hard to feel what that car would feel like, but as you keep doing it, it gets more reinforced. So that's kind of a neat thing. The save AVE. So the E in Savers is for exercise. And again, it's 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes a day. Some of you that watch me or have talked to me or have worked out with me have heard me say you can get a workout in 10 minutes. Very easy. There's a lot of little routines that I've put together for clients that are legit, like 10, 5, 10, 15 minutes long. I mean, like that short. I want to say like a month and a half ago, I was reading a couple of studies on a high intensity form of exercise that's like super short and is probably, if you do it in a certain way, only 10 minutes long, and will get you the same results physiologically that one would get if they were working out 60 minutes, like continuous, like workout on a bike or something like that. So if you want to know about that, message me. It's really cool. But you can do a 10-minute exercise, no problem. So that's the E in Savers. And then the last S in savers is savers are, what am I missing? Reading. So 10 minutes of reading, that's where these books come in. You've heard me say, especially those of you that were around when I was saying, pick up and read this book, the Excuses Be Gone book. 10 pages. That's all you got to do. 10 pages a day. So Excuses Be Gone is total 254 pages. If you read 10 pages a day, that's 300 pages in a 30-day period. You'd knock out that book and no problem. This one, Miracle Morning, is only, let me see, get to the end here, is only 133 pages. So this one you would finish in like 13, 15 days, something like that, if you read 10 pages a day. But his suggestion is in here is to read 10 minutes. So that's very doable. And then the last S in Savers is for, he calls it scribing, but it's basically journaling. So you take, notebook, and you write out things that are on your mind, goals and stuff like that. I've got this little guy called, if you can see it in the lights, it says Goal Getter. And what this basically is, again, this is something that I got to be more diligent about sticking with. If you can see the pages, they're kind of laid out where up at the top, I got to read it here. It says, what am I grateful for today? 3 things that you're grateful for. My goal to live life fit today is, so you kind of write whatever your goal is for the day. One thing I appreciate about my strong body today is, and then you write up whatever you appreciate. Down here, it says rate your day, today's workout, food, and mood. So that's what these 3 things are down here. And there's a little quote over here, and then on this side you got space to journal. So I use this for my little Miracle Morning journaling. You can use a notebook. It doesn't matter how you do it, but the whole point of the Miracle Morning is to give yourself time to invest in yourself, to do these little things. And you can do it continuously. So you can do 10 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of affirmations, 10 minutes of visualization, 10 minutes of exercise, 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of journaling, and you'll have a whole hour to yourself. He even wrote in the book, some people that were going through this this exercise that he was recommending were like, man, I don't have enough time in the day, so they cut it down to 6 minutes, which is fine. He's like, that's fine. He goes, do your silence for 6 minutes, do your journaling for 6 minutes, there's a way to do a 6-minute exercise. That's easy. So they were able to do that, change their schedule because of that. And then some people in here were like, I break up my 10 minutes throughout the day. So they're like, I'll wake up, I'll do my exercise, and then when I get to work, I do my silence, and then I do this. So they break it up throughout the day. And he's like, it doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. And I haven't been diligent to doing this. Like I said, I read it, and I was like, okay, got it. And now that I'm putting it on video, I'm going to follow up on this and let you guys know how it's working out for me. So those are my 6 things that I look at, and here's the books that I carry with me. Just to recap, if you're following along this long with me, and thank you for taking the time to follow along. So my Sundays are my spiritual day. That's when I'm doing a little piece of Master Key System. My Mondays are my money day, and that's when I'm putting my receipts in that cash flow app, separating my business receipts from my personal receipts, following up on the Money Drunk book and kind of staying on top of it with what I'm doing, trying to better my finances and internally. Tuesday's my tech day, and right now it's I'm going through a marketing system, learning how to get leads online and stuff like that. Again, if you want to know about it, let me know. I'm not going to mention stuff here. Wednesday's my physical day. That's when I look at workout stuff and kind of right now what I'm doing is getting back into excuses be gone, so I get out of my head about working out and just doing it. Thursday is my intellectual day, so right now I'm doing a lot of reading on sales and marketing. Friday's my relational day, like I mentioned to you guys, I'm finding ways to spend more time with my daughter, even though like we're not together every day. And using this little book is one of those ideas for that. And then Saturday is just kind of open to do and be and have whatever. So I wanted to share that with you guys because that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it on video because if I put it on video and I put it out there, it forces me to, it's me holding myself accountable. It's like me being my own coach. So me putting it out there is forcing me to say, okay, you said you're going to do these things. And then like 7 days later, have I done them? 30 days later, have I done them? And if I haven't, like, when am I going to get on it? So it's an accountability thing for me, to put it out there. And this way I can follow up with myself, 30 days later and see where I'm at. So this video, as I'm shooting it, it's July 24th, 2018. So we'll have to check back on August 24th and see how well I did. But part of the accountability that I want to do for myself is follow up on the different days. So like every Sunday, follow up and talk about what I did with the Master Key System. On Mondays, follow up on what I did with the Money Drunk, Money Sober book, and so on. So today's Tuesday, Tech Day, so I'm putting it on video today. Hope you have a great day, and if you have any questions on any of the things that I shared, let me know. If you want to know where to find these books, I can help you with that too, or the concepts in the books, and leave me a comment if you want. I'm here. Talk to you soon.